Hello and welcome to today's debut episode of The Nights That Never End. Today we're at the Cold Christmas Church at Thundridge, Hertfordshire.
Cold Christmas Church is in Thundridge, Hertfordshire, as we've explained already. It is a well-known site for Satanists coming here to perform satanic rituals, and it is also well known for what could be possibly hauntings. Thundridge Cold Christmas has several different theories about this place, and some of them are that a lot of children died here in a very cold Christmas. The church tower was built in the wrong way and therefore is known as a Satanist church because of it not facing holiness, and the other one being simply that the church tower got delayed on a very cold Christmas when it was being built. We have 24 hours to find out. The truth will always get revealed. What are you doing?
Send out camera A outside the church.
Okay. Camera B set up, Tom.
Right, all set. Now 8:30, and me and Jim's going to have a talk about how he felt when he was in the church. So James, when you was in the church, how did you first feel when you first entered?
Well, when I first entered, to be honest, I guess setting up when we were in there for like 20 minutes, setting up, putting lighting in there, you know, just genuinely making sure it was safe to take part in the night's activities to find out. It was, I guess, felt rather emotional, even though there was this sense of doom, not doom as such, like imprisonment.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a church, it's anything but the thing is, it felt as though there was like something in there. So I'm choking on the fire there. Something in there that didn't want to be there or stuck there. I mean, like, how did you feel and stuff like that?
Well, when I first entered, I felt a lot colder than I was on the outside. I sort of had a sudden chill when I went in there.
I mean, obviously when we were in there, that's why I'm moving into the light. It was racketing down with rain, and we had a massive electrical storm for all you viewers that may not have known that. And we are actually pre-recording this part because we filmed in different parts. We filmed setting up first because it was the most important thing to do while it was reasonably light. But it was emotional in there, I'll give it that, because we were standing there and we actually did a bit of cooling out while we were in there setting up as well. I mean, currently we're outside and we do have the motion sensor in there that you've put in there, and it is primed. But earlier on, do you want to tell them what happened earlier on while we were sitting over here by the campfire and our little hub area?
Yeah, when I brought the motion sensor out because people were around the church at the time, it armed itself automatically with none of us pressing the arm button, and that was a bit spooky because none of us did it. So we wondered if maybe it was a presence arming it, trying to warn us or something like that.
I mean, unfortunately, we didn't actually get that on camera because that was literally when we first turned up. It was sitting over by the tree, which was over there, and we were sitting over on the log, which we've moved so we could have it as a sitting area. It decided to arm itself and go off, which is unfortunate that we didn't get it on cam. But if we see anything throughout the night, and you know, it's sitting in their arm now in the church, so when we leave from calling out at multiple points throughout tonight, we're gonna tell it to make any movements it wants, and we will know because the alarm will go off.
Yeah.
Furthermore, Tom, what does the history make you feel like when you've been told the history of this place? I mean, most investigation teams turn up without knowing the history. They just know where the location is.
What the place is and maybe what might have gone on there.
But
just in the knowledge.
Because you know the history and we're about to go, it gives us more specific ways of asking stuff.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Knowing the history makes me feel a bit more understanding what might be going on in the church, understanding why they might still be there, and it gives us a bit more understanding of who we might be trying to talk to. It could be a little girl because of all the children who died here in that cold Christmas. So it gives us a bit more understanding of who we're trying to contact and trying to help, see if we can help them, be released from that prison, because it's very emotional inside, like you said, and it feels like they don't want to be there. And we're now inside the church. Any flashes or loud thundering sounds you hear, it's because it's raining and thundering outside, so that will explain the flashing and thundering. We're going to do some call-outs now, as it's raining, and we thought we'll just take dry camp inside the church. Right, we have set up some candles around, just because then anything walk past this we might know, because the wind can only blow one way in. If the candle somehow blows the other way, that gives us a sign that maybe something's walked past. So we're now just inside the church, and we're going to just do a bit of calling out. No, I think I wouldn't come through that way, but we're going to do some calling out.
Wind's blowing in.
We're going to do some calling out to see if we can get any attention in here. Right. From the last time we've been here, there is something new down here. I'm just going to quickly show you. It's this tombstone, and if you can clearly see someone's tried to do their own Satanist sacrifice here. I'm going to put that back. Right. Now, if there are any spirits present around me or in this church at this time, please give a sign. You blow out a candle, or make the candles blow in different direction, or make a I won't say make a fun sound with the thunder, and we won't know, but try and blow a candle out if there's something here. Right. We are not here to harm you in any way. We just want to try and get an understanding of why you're here and why you're haunting this church. As we do know, as James explained earlier, this church is facing in the wrong direction to holiness. So, does that bother you, that church isn't facing holiness? Is that why you're still here? Is it's not as what some people call a holy church? If you're scared, please blow out a candle, just so we know that you don't want to talk to us. Right. Do you think that is your gravestone in here? Because if it is, we would really like to know who we're trying to talk to. If your gravestone is here, please move it or make a thump on it so we can hear it, so we might understand what your name is. Okay.
Tom, you're now live from my camera over here. Just wanted to make you aware of that, so you will see a bit of a light glow on the webcam. And Tom, when you're ready, feel free to start calling out after you've set up your camera.
Okay. We'll soon find out. I'm now recording. You won't go much see anything because this camera does not contain flash.
However, you may hear noises or movements that can be captured by the lighting we have. Do you know what the time is roughly?
I'll give you the exact timing of what this film is taking place. The exact time is, it's 22:18 of people don't understand that's 10:18 p.m. Right. I'm now going to try and see if I can get any attention from inside the church. Right. If there are any presents, please make yourself known by making the candle in the middle flicker uncontrollably. Right now I'm feeling a bit, I have a feeling in the back of my neck that there is people in here. Not that there's one person, I can feel more than one. It feels like people are sitting around here to wake out a storm what might make the understanding of Cole Christmas Church feel more real. Because as you well know, there was a Cole Christmas and a lot of people died, especially children. I'm feeling that maybe this was a place where they tried to wait out the storm, but unfortunately died of the cold weather. If what I'm saying, if what I'm feeling, and you make me feel that, could you flicker the candle in the middle uncontrollably? Right, the candle was flickering and I heard a click, like someone's broken a stick on the staircase. Right. Did a lot of you, is there more than one of you in this church? If so, make the candle flicker. For the camera view, the candle in the middle is flickering, but the other one by the staircase wasn't really flickering. Now they're both flickering. So that might suggest there might be more than one spirit.
Are you standing over in the left-hand side where that candle is? And if so, could you finish that candle off, blow it out? Because that candle is about to go, and we've asked you to do that. Can you put it out properly?
The candle what James is talking about is a new candle. It shouldn't be running out of fumes.
Can you blow it out? Go on. Go on. You can do it.
Right.
Can you blow it out? Use me and Tom's energy to blow it out. Come on. Come on. Are you hiding from us?
If so, make the candle in the middle flicker.
Or carry on doing the one in the corner where we think you're standing, because that one is nearly gone and we think you might be over there. One last path from that, go out. Go on. No?
Do you not like James talking to you? Do you feel that he can't see you as much as I can? Is that why you don't tend to listen to him? Do you feel that maybe is he angering you? You start make the candle middle flicker. Do you not want him to be here?
Does Tom anger you? Does Tom make you unhappy that he's here? Can you maybe blow out the candle in the corner, or make the one in the middle really violently flicker? Really violently, if you don't like Tom being here.
The candle in the middle is flickering quite violently. Do you think we're here to harm you? If so, make the candle in the middle flicker or blow the candle out. Or any of the candles.
Can we just state that the candle in the left-hand corner has come back alight again? Which is why we're saying any candle can be blown out.
Do you not like when people come here? Do you want this to be like a sanctuary where just hidden away and no one visits? If so, make a candle flicker. Are you annoyed about people being here? Do you wish that people would just leave you alone, or do do you want me to say?
I just want to say, Tom, though we're here, I'm just wondering whether it may be wise to do more than just asking them for the candle to flicker. I mean, that candle over in the corner, you probably see my shadow on the wall pointing to the candle I'm on about. That's in a place where no draft can really get to it because the entrance is literally impossible to get to, and it's the same with that candle right there in the middle, which the end of my pen is at. The one that's really close to me, obviously my pen's in the way, but it is around that area. That's in such a corner it won't get blown out. And that one just up there, you may be able to see it on the camera, is in a place where it can't get blown out as well. There's one behind Tom as well. That's still going. That's had no breeze at all. That's not flickered once. We do have the motion sensor down at the bottom of the stairs. And we really want to call out now because we really want different activities to find out what may be going on. And we really do ask, if you are here and we have sensed you hiding in the staircase, to set off that motion alarm. If you're there, just make the slightest movement
It's just going to be annoying. It's not going to harm you.
or noise to set it off.
Could you maybe move a bottle or just make it move slightly? Because even though the candle's flickering, we want more of a response from you. So we get an understanding that you are here and you are willing to communicate with us. I'm now going to attempt to knock on the wall. Please feel free to reply by knocking back. You're going to bang on the wall 3 times, and if you can bang back exactly. 1, 2, 3. Do you not like me tapping the wall? Does that offend you when I do that? I'm going to try it one more time. Do you want to maybe try something else? Like if we get a pen and paper and I stick my hand in and you make me draw something or write something.
Give me one of them old candles. I've got an idea. So guys, the camera will move around a little bit due to trying something. If you hold the camera and put it on me, it needs to be something that's relatively circle, but that do. Shine it on the paper. These are notes we've been making of activity that we've seen, and so far we've seen at about 4, 5 o'clock this evening, we were sitting over by our camp area and the motion alarm decided to arm itself. None of us had our remotes near us or pressed the remotes. At about 5:10, we heard the sound of church bells coming from this tower, and that's really odd because this tower is in totally the wrong direction to pick up church bells from the church that now is placed in the centre of Thundridge. After that, we were filming the intros and we did have the sense of seeing something, like sense of someone watching us through the little slot window from in the tower. That's what we've seen so far. And if you're interested now, what we're going to do is I'm just going to see if this one actually lights as well, because it would be handy if it does. We've got a candle that's been left behind by someone. It might actually light for us, which it is. So we can use that. It's just in the doorway, which is making it flicker a bit more. See? So what we're going to do is we're going to put that, we're drawing a circle around it. This isn't going to get moved throughout the night. We're doing this to really find out the truth about whether it's haunted or not. So we have the circle there. So that's the circle the candle's going to sit. I never suggest you do this because this isn't the best thing to do ever. But I'm also going to do this in the middle, as you can clearly see. I am doing something probably that will upset whatever's in here, if there's something in here.
For people who don't understand, that is a sign of the devil.
We are now going to put this in the middle of the church with the candle over it, and if the candle was moved at all, then something's moved it, of course. And we're also going to light it.
Right.
So if I take the camera back from you, Tom, I'm going to film you. I'm going to film you in here.
Can I not use this candle here?
No, because I've drawn the circle around the candle, and as I said, we need it to be exactly the same thing, otherwise it's not 100% correct that we've used the same equipment. And also, Tom, while you're doing that, how do you feel at the moment in here?
I feel like there's something watching us doing this. Something what might not like us what we're about to do, but we're not doing it. We don't mean any harm to you. We just want to see if we can get a response out of you, to see what makes you angry, so we know not to do it again. And we've now placed over the star in the middle of the church.
Is it directly over so you can see the line all the way around the edge?
Yeah.
Perfect. Right. Also, now I'd like you to disarm the motion alarm, Tom. And I'd like you to move it onto that stone with the 2 candles on and arm it and come and sit over this area, okay? So that was Tom disarming it just then.
Where do you want it, James?
I want it on that stone with the 2 candles on there, right next to it. On the other side. And if you come over this side and arm it.
I'm now going to arm. You'll hear a beat what it does. So motion on arming.
If it goes off within the next couple of seconds, it's probably due to the flame, and if so, we will be moving it. Can you flicker the candle for us if you're around that area? Because that might set off the motion alarm. No? Okay, we're now going to move the laptop screen towards the candle and the motion sensor. So, Tom, if you'd like to do that, and we will be leaving. We've just disarmed the motion sensor while Tom does this. We will be leaving the tower.
And we're now back inside the church. We are now going to go up the staircase to see if anything's up there. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'd just like to also mention lighting that's around is stuff that we've purely set up to light up the tower throughout the night. Obviously, we've got our candles going again. We also have the motion sensor, which we are about to move, so we can have it on while we go up the staircase, which would give us an indication of whether we've scared anything from down the staircase. Hopefully there's nothing up there, because it would be a bloody massive jump. We've got the candles, as you can see, and we're pretty much ready to go up. So, Tom, if you want to move that over by that light in the corner, and I'm going to let you go through the staircase first while I arm it to see if it's going to go off while I get in. As we say, none of this is tampered. Anything that does happen is purely truthful. That bleep was the arming. Oh, just bloody... Go. So we're now in the staircase.
Watch the step.
The steps are bloody slippy due to the dust. And it's really, really steep. We do not advise, if you take a visit here after our time, to come here because it is very dangerous and you shouldn't do it alone.
We're now at the first window.
And we're now at the top.
There's a pole here, James, watch your head.
Yeah, don't go over the pole. So that's down onto the tower. It's quite high. We won't be going any further due to a safety pole. I actually feel quite as though we're not alone, to be personally honest, up here. I don't know how you feel, Tom.
Cold.
We're definitely, from what my camera can tell, there's a couple of things that don't look like orbs, and if they're not orbs, I invite you to do that again in front of my camera. Really bright, really big, swoop towards my camera.
Yep.
And I'd also be interested in knowing if you can do anything down by the ground. Blow out one of the candles. One of them has gone out, by the way. Make a noise down on the ground.
Yeah, okay. For the cam purposes, we heard a little noise down below.
And we're about to make our way back down the staircase. We do, as we said, it's not advisable to do this on your own because it is rather dangerous. Yeah.
For cam purposes, I just heard a noise upstairs.
And we're now about to go back down. So Tom, if you switch places with me. Obviously, it's not advisable to come up here by yourself because...
Make sure there's two of you, so if you do fall that...
No, it's not really the falling part. It's more we feel that coming up here, if you get freaked out, you are most likely to slip and hurt yourself because it is very dusty and the dust makes it all slippy. Have you turned it off? Tom's just turning off the... There we go, motion alarm sensed it's... And now it's off. So, that candle's gone out.
That's not due to ghosts.
That's not due to ghosts because, unfortunately, that was one that we found that we decided to use. So we're now going to sit here. It's 10 o'clock, and we're going to move that to the middle. We're going to move that to the middle. We're not going to cause any offence, so guys. We purely are doing it out of experiment. Tom, if you move that to the middle. And we're also going to move that motion sensor and arm it in that corner over there by the staircase. So if there's anything watching us from the staircase and it moves suddenly, it's going to go off. I'll arm it because I'm at a better angle to arm it. Or not. So, Tom, if you blow out one of the candles and move it to the middle. And if you'd like to sit down, Tom. I'm also going to go outside quickly for resource purposes. Tom, if you'd like to start calling out.
Hello, is there any spirit? Church.
We cause no harm to you, as we've said earlier on in the day when we've been in here to set up. And
the candle in the orb seems to be flickering, but none of the other candles don't seem to be flickering. So that might be a sign that there is a presence around us right now.
I'd just like to say, for the camera, that this camera's got high enough quality for you to tell the difference between orbs and flies, because when you see the flies coming at the screen, you can clearly identify they're flies. I'd like to start because Tom senses a lot more than what I do, and we'd like to know if you could possibly, if you feel Tom's more open than I am, to do an orb near Tom. Tom and us are not here to hurt you. We're gonna sit here for a couple minutes in silence now, and feel free to speak to us or make noises or set off the motion alarm. Feel free to set off the motion alarm.
you are. Don't be afraid. Let yourself know. Look at the candle again. That's it. Is that you doing it?
Can you blow the candle out if it's you? Really give it one big puff and make it go out. You know, I can hear what you're on about. It's almost as if it's lingering just a little bit up.
Are you watching this from the window at the top?
Can you make a groaning noise?
The candle in the middle is only one second. All the other candles are still flaming.
Tom, come over here for a minute.
Any noises you hear is me walking.
Hold the camera. I'm just going to leave the church, so any noises you may hear from around outside are me for camera purposes, okay? As I said, feel free to set off the motion alarm if you are hiding in the staircase. We're not here to harm you at all. You can blow out the candles and move something. It's up to you.
James has now left the church. Are you afraid of us being here? Do you not like us staying the night? Do you feel like that we're intruding on your place of death? Does that offend you?
We're just going to pause the session here for a minute and we'll be back with you in a sec. So we're going to put that. We're drawing a circle around it. This isn't going to get moved throughout the night. We're doing this to really find out the truth about whether it's haunted or not. So we have the circle there. So that's the circle the candle's going to sit. I never suggest you do this because this isn't the best thing to do ever. But I'm also going to do this in the middle. As you can clearly see, I am doing something probably that will upset whatever's in here, if there's something in here.
For people who don't understand, that is a sign of the devil.
We are now going to put this in the middle of the church with the candle over it, and if the candle was moved at all, then something's moved it, of course. And we're also going to light it.
Right.
So if I take the camera back from you, Tom, I'm going to film you. I'm going to film you in here.
Can I not use this candle here, Jimmy?
No, because I've drawn the circle around the candle, and as I said, we need it to be exactly the same thing, otherwise it's not 100% correct that we've used the same equipment. And also, Tom, while you're doing that, how do you feel at the moment in here?
I feel like there's something watching us doing this. Something what might not like us what we're about to do, but we're not doing it. We don't mean any harm to you. We just want to see if we can get a response out of you to see what makes you angry, so we know not to do it again. And we've now placed over the star in the middle of the church.
Is it directly over so you can see the line all the way around the edge?
Yeah.
Perfect. Right. Also, now I'd like you to disarm the motion alarm, Tom. And I'd like you to move it onto that stone with the 2 candles on and arm it and come and sit over this area, okay? So that was Tom disarming it just then.
Where do you want it, James?
I want it on that stone with the 2 candles on there, right next to it. On the other side. And if you come over this side and arm it.
And now I'm going to arm. You'll hear a beat what it does. So I'm motion on arming.
If it goes off within the next couple of seconds, it's probably due to the flame, and if so, we will be moving it. Can you flicker the candle for us if you're around that area? Because that might set off the motion alarm. No? Okay, we're now going to move the laptop screen towards the candle and the motion sensor. So Tom, if you'd like to do that, and we will be leaving, we've just disarmed the motion sensor while Tom does this, we will be leaving the tower. So I'm recording now. We do have another camera purpose. Now you moved our candle, whoever's in here. So can you blow out the candle for us now we're in here? Because we know you're lingering around it because you've been flickering it. And you've just flickering it again. Can you move it again? Move it right in front of us. I'm going really cold. I am. Can you flicker it? Flicker the one by the voice recorder. Flicker both of them maybe. Blow one of them out.
Right now, for camera purposes, a lot of the candles are flickering around the room.
They're all flickering quite a lot. The only one that isn't flickering is the one by me, as you can see on the camera that I'm recording on. It is really, really cold in here, and I will say when we come back in here later on, around, because Tom's got to do his individual experiment, I'm gonna be close for safety purposes, but I won't actually be in the tower with Tom. No. I will be leaving Tom with my temperature gun so he can fire temperatures. Is that something we haven't done yet? Yeah. Apart from earlier when we were measuring inside and outside temperatures.
When I am firing the thermal reader, you might hear a bleep now and then, but that is not, that is me purely, nothing.
And obviously if you see a red light, it's the laser. Yeah. So in regards to the motion sensor, can you set it off? Can you blow the candle out by it? Can you move the paper again?
Or could you walk by it and make it go off because you're walking by it? Or if you don't feel like walking by it, could you maybe chuck something at it? Well, not at it, past it, so it might go off.
That was my foot, by the way. I was just moving my foot because I'm getting dead legs standing here. So, Tom, do you want to ask any more questions? Try any more experiments?
Yeah, I do want to try one thing.
What's that?
I'm going now going to move a bit of plain paper onto a rock where there's going to be no wind, and I want you to blow that bit of paper off. Right?
Can you just for camera purposes, before you do that, Tom? I know you've got the paper in your hand now, as I can see on camera. Can you just ask a couple more questions before?
Well, the one thing I do want to find out is why when we weren't here but we were still filming, did you move the candle, but when we're here you don't move it? Do you feel that we're going to try and scare you in some way, or do you want to know that we're here? Are you trying to warn us to go? Because we don't understand why you can't do it when we're here.
I'd just like to say, for camera purposes, any sounds of cans is me, because there's a lot of debris on the floor. So any cans that you may hear is me moving my feet, because I do get dead legs quite easily. So yeah.
But
so
the one thing what we haven't asked yet, what maybe
I've got that one, don't worry.
Was that you, or was that?
I'm recording you, and as I said, my feet are, you know.
So was that you?
It can't have been me, because I'm over in the corner. The web.
For many people who are watching, we record that wasn't us. That was purely something being in the room.
So Tom, if you want to do your paper experiment.
I'm now going the bit of paper down.
You've just dropped something. I have no idea what you've dropped.
The bit of paper's on the middle, and it ain't blown at all.
I'm going to now rearm the motion alarm. But first we just want to leave the tower for a minute and we will be back in. If you want to pause the EVP, and we'll pause the session for a second.
We're now back in the church, and if you're watching the webcam, you might have noticed that the candle in the middle has moved.
Did it just come back on by itself?
James,
Tom, what?
look.
Yeah, that's due to the wax and because I'm not standing in the way of the door now.
No. Look at the candle in the middle's moved.
Shit. So I just leave it. Right, sit back where you were. Oh, is this recording again?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're just sorry about that. We just really want to show you something because this is the first piece of real evidence that we've ever had, and I just want to point out, you know, we did the candle experiment with putting it on the piece of paper. We just want to, you might be able to show it, shine the torch right on it. I just want to show you that if you may be able to see that, that is not in the circle anymore by quite a way, which, you know, that shouldn't be like that because it was right in the circle. And did you take a picture of it when you done it?
No.
Well, we haven't been here, and the webcam should have captured that we haven't been here.
And plus, if you were here,
You'd hear the footsteps.
and the motion sensor turned off and on.
Do you want to put this back now, Tom? We just want to say we're walking back towards the tower now. It is witching hour and the motion alarm has decided to go off. We're now about to go and disarm it and rearm it. Well, actually no, we're going to disarm it and we want to see if it rearms itself. We don't really know what we expect in there, and it's disarmed itself. So it's disarmed itself. You may catch that on camera. Tom, are you sensing anything at this minute?
Yeah.
What are you sensing, mate?
I'm sensing that we really shouldn't be here. My arm's going, my sixth sense
I
is
just
going every direction.
want to say, we unfortunately don't have anyone that can come and pick us up.
So we're stuck in the
So
night.
we're here tonight, whatever way. Unfortunately, either way, Tom's got to do his 20-minute special. He's not looking forward to it. And to be honest, we are really nervous now because we were sitting here talking and it went off.
I'm shaking, my heart's racing, I'm feeling cold, my spine's going.
And although we're not in there, and obviously the webcam is on the camera and the door, you will see we were nowhere near that, and that went off. We don't know what the time is now. Tom, can you tell me the time?
Time is, it's 9 minutes past midnight, so the alarm must have gone off about 8 minutes past midnight.